it's not uncommon to shed a tear when your favourite beloved character in-game goes away and never comes back, or they get the chippy choppy with a knife. It's also common to shed a tear when you hear the words "dab on those haters." No. But there's nothing like building bonds with characters in-game that you love and connect to. Today, I give you 5 games that made you cry, so prepare to get those tissues out. No joke, no, we're not going there, no. And prepare the waterworks, it's gonna get cryy. Is that a word? Also, warning, spoilers, incoming. Gears of War 2, Maria's death. One of the best characters to come out of Gears of War in general, apart from Mr. Coltrane, insert woohoo here. Wow! Dom's own quest in Gears of War wasn't to really save the Coalition or fight the Locust, it was part of it, but his real quest was to find his wife. As you progress in Gears 1 and 2, you realise how Dom gets ever so closer to his beloved, and some hints and clues along the way gives him that false sense of hope. While you think it's going to be a happy ending, a shocking twist is revealed. Carlos Veros, I might have said it wrong, anyway, I digress. The voice actor for Dominic in Gears of War actually stepped into motion capture for the first time he has ever done in the game, just so he could deliver the scene right. The findings of Maria being so tortured by the Locust that she actually is withered away, and there's nothing Dom can do apart from let Marcus shoot her in the head, which is quite dark. Damn those tissues. Brothers, The Tale of Two Sons. In this atmospheric adventure-like game, created by an indie dev, who would have knew. In the game you take control of 2 brothers finding the cure for their father, which fell ill, and they can't rely on their mother unfortunately because she passed away prior to the incident. So there's a bit of sadness anyway before the game begins. The game uses a very unique controller mechanic where you can control 2 characters with 1 controller, 1 joystick each and a few buttons. But the sad part about the game is once they get to the area where the cure is located, they have to fight a rip-off Black Widow, so for the record we're called her Brown Widow as I can't actually remember her name. But in the fight with the Brown Widow, one of the brothers gets stabbed by one of the spider legs, and unfortunately the younger brother has to drag him out of the lair of the spider to then provide, imagine first aid, but I don't think a 7-year-old knows how to do first aid, but anyway. In hopes he thinks that if he goes to get the cure it might heal his brother as well, to later find out that when he actually goes and gets the cure and comes back, he's kind of taking a dirt nap on the floor. So sad. And the final shot of the game, I did say spoilers, is when the father and son are looking at both the gravestones of the relatives of the rest of the family. So, boo. The Walking Dead Lee's death. Ah, The Walking Dead. First season, I'll add, the good one. But sure. Now we know the universe of The Walking Dead isn't a barrel of laughs, but everyone keeps on rolling, I suppose. Anyway, nothing brings more sadness to our hearts than watching the last episode of the first season where Lee and Clementine is the adopted daughter of Lee, into a tight situation with a group of zombies in the city of Savannah. Unfortunately for us, Clementine sees her mum and dad, but prior to the injuries that Lee was obtaining, Lee passed out on the floor, Clementine brought him inside, and we get a bit of story. But the real sadness is the point where you get 2 options, and that's the one to leave Lee to turn, or you get to shoot Lee in the head. Double tap is always a good rule of thumb, but it'll always be a very, very dark moment in my gaming history, and I will remember that. Assassin's Creed 2, The Auditore Family. Assassin's Creed was a great game, especially the second one. The first one, yeah, you couldn't swim. It was a packed with great stories, it was a fresh new feature, many other qualities that made the game unique, unlike, Unity. Oh, sorry. In Assassin's Creed 2, you play as the young, handsome, endeavouring banker-to-be, Ezio Auditore. The young, handsome ladders are all going for him until the one unfortunate day where Giovanni Auditore, his father, sends Ezio with a letter to deliver to a friend called Roberto. I believe that's how it's pronounced, maybe not, I could be wrong. Roberto unfortunately betrays the Auditore family, which later results in their hanging. Unfortunately, all the males of the family are hung, so that's the tall one, the dad, and the kid who wants the feathers. Why does he want feathers? It really annoys me. You never got anything out of it. Fortunately for us, Ezio got to endure this eyewitness, as in the mission we run up to the area in which they are to be hung, and we get the cutscene of it happening, and it is rather sad. The Last of Us. Naughty Dog, being a naughty dog, making me sad again because I can't finish that damn bridge level. It's safe to say they've burnt my bridges with the company. Naughty Dog's award-winning game The Last of Us tore our hearts to pieces. Within the first moment of the game, we're introduced to Joel and Sarah. I forget how you pronounce it with a H, forgive me. We find ourselves grabbing the tissues rather early, as in one of the main starts to the game where everyone's panicking about the outbreak and trying to get away from the situation. Joel and Sarah are actually chased down by a group of soldiers, and they fall into the ditch, I might add. Once the soldier encounters obviously there's a quarantine, so they need to shoot every motherfucker walking. So when the soldier gets the order over the radio to execute both people, luckily and unfortunately for Joel, we're left with Joel, but unfortunately Sarah dies. I suppose the soldier did half his job right. But that's our list of games that made you cry. Do we miss any out? Is there any that made you cry in particular? And we're not counting games that made you cry because they were so bad. We're making them because they're so sad. But if you liked it, please drop a like and a comment below and tell us what we can do in the future. And if you want to see any more, make sure to recommend them. So I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!